Hi everyone, welcome to the First Call Plus, previewing some races on the undercard from our three venues on Saturday. Riccarton Park, Trentham and Ellerslie, our three main venues around the country. With me are the lads, Aidan Rodley and Jason Tarn, to look at all things racing. The first that we're taking a look at is the Copeland's Bakeries Mile Trial from Riccarton Park. $2.80 La Diosa, $2.80 Son of Mahar. What did you make of her most recent effort, Jason, and are there any reports from the camp in terms of how she's come forward?
La Diosa, I thought the run was only fair. She's obviously going to come out of that an improved horse. Son of Mahar didn't have much luck, did he? But he attacked the line. So, look, the market's not able to split them, or the bookmakers haven't split them. So maybe they're looking for a market lead. But gee, I didn't think they deserved combined. I didn't think they deserved to hold that much of it.
Okay.
They are both very short in a race that does have a little bit of depth to it as well.
I think so too.
We've got Cooley going forward, just comes through, just scratched last time out with a bruised heel, I think it was, but races well here at Riccarton. They'll go forward, Morse Code to go forward, Volcano to go forward. Looks like a nice run there for Call Me Royal, Tommy Tucker to get a nice suck along as well. And those two horses are probably likely to get back in a race where there's not a lot of speed. Is that the way you saw it?
Yeah, I didn't think there was an abundance of speed. I know you've got Morse Code going forward, and I think he really is the key to the race.
Yeah.
It's another scenario where he's had 3 runs. He's going to be as fit as you'd want him to be. Up against some horses I still think have some question marks over them. Most namely, one of the joint favourites in La Diosa.
He does settle okay too now, when he used to be really fierce. Here's La Diosa there. She's in 4th at the moment, just coming through. It wasn't a bad run from Two's Not Enough this day. He's a horse who's been improved, and Timmy Tyler's run for 3rd was very good. And this time round comes in 51.5. I know it was light enough last time, but yeah, I don't know. La Diosa, we know she's quality. She is undoubtedly the class horse of the race, but she probably needs to just pick up a little bit on that run.
Look, again, you'd say that the track was an excuse relative to others. Like that's what you'd say. She's definitely got a better record on top of the ground, which she will get on Saturday and potentially turn it around. But gee, she was pretty well covered. She was pretty well covered by Two Is Not Enough and Timmy Tyler. And I thought she came to the end of her run.
She will be an improver by second
definitely,
up, no
but
doubt.
Look, she was beaten 5.5 lengths behind maybe Miami, so 3 lengths behind the 2nd and 3rd place horses.
Yeah.
Look, if you're assuming natural improvement of say 2 to 3 lengths, and it's hard to assume too much more than that.
Is there any chance Two's Not Enough will ping forward? We know how good it can be on the rail, and with that race fitness under its belt now, is that a possibility in the race?
Definitely.
She's going well too, isn't she? She's really going well, and yeah, it's just interesting just to see how this does shape. Well, I like Morse Code after, we're seeing that the form around some pretty good horses. Watch the space and Bull Rush in the last couple, and I just thought that might be the horse, and at $9 looked like a value bet.
All right, I'll take you on with Two's Not Enough. Who are you going to...
Oh,
we're going to chocolate fish here.
I quite like both Morse Code and Two's Not Enough. Like, she won the race 2 years ago, Two's Not Enough. She's a 7-year-old mare, but she is in form, which is key. I know, Son of Mahar we haven't really discussed. I haven't got him in 2, but...
He's a very good horse.
He's an excellent horse. He hasn't really done it at a level like this just yet, but he hints that he can. You're taking $2...
Well, he's Group 1 placed.
Yes, behind a very, very good horse. A very good couple of horses that were in front there. But, there's something about him. There's something about him that I want to be on him, but I don't want to touch him.
Do you feel like you want to see him again? And then,
I don't know. You take
he's
come home in 33.05, so that shows last start. He has got an engine. We know he's got an engine. We know he's Group 1 place, but you're having to take rock bottom odds in this grade to find out for him to deliver a rating that he hasn't yet.
Okay, race number 2 at Trentham. Next race we're looking at, and it is the Greenman Pub Premier, rating 85 over 1,200 metres. 3 of them between the 340 and 360 mark here. Jason Tarn, Sensible Princess, William Wallace, Ferrando. We know how good William Wallace is, but I suppose the question is how forward first up.
He will be forward. He's not far away from being 100% because he's got the Copeland's Bakeries Mile on his agenda, which is 2.5 weeks away or thereabouts.
He's well backed in that too, isn't he? He's right in the market.
Creeping up on us.
Yeah, I might have got the dates fractionally wrong. It might be...
I think it's the 15th.
Right, okay, so that is 2.5 weeks. Yeah, anyway, 1,200 metres just might be a fraction sharp. He's going to have to run past some pretty good horses, but he's got that sprint in him. He'll give this a very good shake because that Trentham track is one that should suit him. I think he had one failure there where things weren't right with him. Something cropped up during the run and sort of a minor sort of niggle.
Yeah, so the speed around Pinsrad, Ferrando and Dancing Flames likely to go forward over the river. You'd think that they'd get somewhere handy, and I don't think Jonathan Parks would want to get Sensible Princess too far away from them. That means William Wallace and Flamingo, two of the key chances in the race, are getting back. But they might run this along quick enough.
Let's have a look at William Wallace's trial in preparation for this. Here he is down the outside. Getting into the race, we know he's got a big long stride on a maiden, and he just picks him up pretty easily here.
It's a super trial. There's Nashville just in behind him as well, who's going around on Saturday as well. But I thought the trial just showed everything. It's a fresh up run since 4th at Doomben in July. So yeah, I think he's a big chance, William Wallace.
With the trip to Australia as well, Jason, you think a horse like William Wallace is going to be able to grow up?
Definitely.
For want of a better term?
I think he's a hell of a promising horse, William Wallace. This is Sensible Princess. Now, the thing for her is the transition to a significantly better track, or the expectation of it anyway.
Yeah,
How do you
for
think
sure.
she'll cope?
Oh, she's good. I think she's a really promising horse. And yes, we've seen her winning on rain-affected tracks because she's been ready to go, and it's just what she's been presented with. But I think she's got a bit of class about her. She was well ridden that day. She was just ridden to make sure that she'll be winning that race. But I think they can put her wherever they like. I think she's quite a tractable mare, and I think she's really high class.
Any suggested bets here?
For mine, I'm going to leave the race alone. But I don't mind William Wallace, but he has been found in this market.
I was going to bet De Niro, but that's been scratched. I sort of really like the horse on one of the performances he put in at Hastings, so he's not there. That'll change the shape of it. That should suit Ferrando, Dancing Flames. There's be that fraction less pressure in the race. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to have a bet in it, but I really like Flamingo. But she's going to be coming from a similar place to William Wallace. Yeah. It's just who's got the best sprint, and will they have to stand up too much ground and do too much work against some of those horses that might get it a bit softer in front?
We saw a couple of horses nominated for the Hong Kong Sprint, Jason, which we haven't normally sort of seen from New Zealand in recent times.
Yeah, one of those is Ferrando, nominated for the Longines Hong Kong Sprint. I think that he'd probably be maybe 10,000 to 1 to get an invite. He's going to have to win a race like this and then win.
The other one's Packing Eagle, who was obviously a Group 3
I don't think there's actually
week.
going to be a race that's going to rate highly enough for him to win to get an invite, I wouldn't have thought.
Yep.
But Packing Eagle certainly one of those runners.
Nominations are free.
Yeah, that's right. You
They are free.
So Ginger Nuts also has been nominated for, along with Volkstock and Barrel, for the Cup and the Vase. Yeah. Ginger Nuts highly unlikely to go though. But as you say, nominations are free. I think Ginger Nuts have same chance as Ferrando of going. Yeah. Not because they wouldn't get selected though, but because of the program.
Okay, let's carry on to the Rating 85 Hanley Formula Premier over 2,400 metres. Clarify $3, $5 ticket clipper, out to $5 for It's All Belt, $6 no change. Sometimes these sort of races can be a little bit of a lottery, Aidan.
Yes, but we've got a field here that has a fair bit of depth about it. There's a whole lot of horses coming out of the Egmont Cup, which we know now is a reliable form source because we saw Way to Set come out of it. And we've got a horse like Trisha Lee, who won the 65 that same day, actually ran quicker than Way to Set, who's then come out and not only won that Egmont Cup, but also won the Livermore. Outside that, you've got some really nice horses, such as Clarify, who's doing the best work late, and behind Ticket Clipper. Both their runs at Hastings good, and so was No Change last week at Hastings as well. So yeah, it's an interesting race. Here's the speed from my point of view. It's All Belt, likely to press on. Was a very good run for second, pushing Way to Set very hard, and for many they thought that he'd actually won that race. No Change likely to get forward as well. Sampson, Ticket Clipper, Hamiltonian likely to get back.
Jason, your thoughts on the race?
Again, a runner like Clarify, where he'll end up.
He's just lost that early speed, but I'm sure they'll try and be positive again.
I think at times they have been, but you're right, he just hasn't been able to get out of the barriers. This is that run at Hastings where he probably settled back 3 or 4 pairs further than what you would have anticipated. But it was a heck of a run coming outside of that inside 3 or 4 metres, or inside 3 metres. Mongolian Legend, very good. Ticket Clipper snuck up on the inside. That was an excellent run in its own right, and No Change fought.
It was a race where those who were on speed were probably more favoured, but the runs of Ticket Clipper and Clarify were absolutely top class. They've run clearly the two fastest last 600s of the race. Ticket Clipper just marginally faster than than what we saw from Clarify, who really did hit the line strongly. They've both got to be contenders in the race. I've gone with Clarify on top in the end. But it's a good even race, and I don't think it's a bad one. 2,400 metres is probably a New Zealand Cup leader.
Let's turn our attention to Ellerslie now. Race number 4 is the J&R contracting rating open handicap. It is over 1,400 metres. This is a look at the market, all bar 2 in single figures. $3.40 Rising Shot, $3.70 Ronkia. Man, Stewie Lang was pretty keen on Rising Shot, I think, if I remember rightly, Jason.
$100 from his bank onto Rising Shot. I'll be having $50 on her as well. Ronki, one of those enigma horses. We know that he's good enough if he jumps out and can find a forward position. That's where he's proven to be most effective. Something Vane fresh up. She's a watch, but I get the feeling that she's a mare that races better after a run or two under her belt.
I agree totally, yeah.
At her best, she'd be right in it.
Yeah.
But I just think that you'd expect that she's not quite there.
Yeah, interesting to see. I don't think there's a great deal of speed here. I've got Made of Steel leading with Mishka Mushka pressing forward. It's a horse that they can press forward with at any time in a race, and same with Ronki as well. And expect Peppermill to be handy. I don't think this will be run fast at all, and it's going to put it against Rising Shot to some degree, unless you disagree with the map here, Jason.
Yeah, I hope it's not a Mickey Mouse run race with Mishka Mushka up there, but Made of Steel.
There you go.
I thought maybe Ronki could lead it. I thought, what?
That was good, I liked it.
I thought Ronki might be able to lead the race anyway, but you'd hope a genuine tempo for Rising Shot, because if it is a little bit of a sit sprint, we know of this, that Ronki has enough of a sprint if he gets his own terms in front to make it hard on a horse like Rising Shot with the rail out 10.5 for her to make that sprint wider.
That's Peppermill as well, back on the fence, who's a rival as well in this race, and who has since run okay at Tarapa, but he was good this day, showed very good speed, and we know he's a quality horse. He's high flyer. It's not bad sort of form around. Here's Peppermill's next run, and of course Rising Shot. Both these horses hitting the line strongly. And just speaking to you sort of away from the show, Jason, I know you've been a little bit sort of wary about this form, but you're happy to play with this race as you bet.
Yeah, it just shows that Rising Shot to me has come back in good order, and she showed a good turn of foot. When you see horses, excuse me, and when you see horses like that in the bunch finish, there's about 2 lengths from second through to about 9th. They've just sat there, they've sat up and just sprinted home. Like, it's a real hard to get lines on individuals relative to others, but at least it shows you that horses are in reasonable sort of shape. Horses, their aerobic capabilities get found out when they go harder, right? And you sort of the depths of their aerobic capabilities are sort of found out. So we don't know with a genuinely run race where those horses are at, but we know that they're well enough that they can reel off a sectional. She
ran second in the Kalaizuzu Stakes at Group 2 level last year, then 4th in the Ritual Mile, and she beat home Ronki in that race, and they're at the same weight difference for this one round. Just before we leave this race, the one horse I don't want to leave alone is Mishka Mushka. This trial, did you see the trial?
Yes.
Trial was very, very good. And here's a horse who, last preparation in the fresh up run, beat home these horses. Under the Moonlight, Savaria, Nymph Monte, Willie Cazelles. So we know there's a bit of quality about him as well.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on Mishka Mushka. At Ellerslie, we're moving on to race number 4, the Logistics Group 1600. Rating 85 this will be, featuring Jai Gawan. Runner number 2, $9.50. A horse who's always had a bit of a rap on it. Blizzard, $9.50 up the top. Good to see Zach Spain over here doing the business at Ellerslie. Crafty Jess, $4.50. Grand Rio, $5. A headache race, do you think, Jason, in terms of the form?
Yeah, it's not easy to sort out the shape of it, and when you can't do that, it's really hard to price horses up and find overs and unders, let alone finding the winner. So, yeah, how did you map it?
This is a race where we had a lot of speed, and I actually hadn't been able to get enough time and to map it for the TFC PLUS. Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
I didn't know that.
Priorities. Yeah. Unbelievable.
But anyhow, there's a lot of speed.
I can't even blame my headpiece.
Put your foot there.
That's right.
Have we got a video?
Yeah, we do. Jai Gawan.
Roll the video.
Roll it. Go. Jai Gawan, Avondale, 25th of April. Down the middle of the track. Wanted to lay in a little bit at about the 150 metres, but did enough to win here.
Jason?
She showed herself to be very effective over the 1600 metres with some slight give in the ground. That's what she'll get at Ellerslie on Saturday. So she should get that nice soft run, irrespective of how the race pans out. Now,
Aidan, I'll get you to talk to us about Crafty Jess and her form and how you think it's going to.
Crafty Jess has been hitting the line really strongly in recent starts, hasn't she? And she gets Heidi Mizuki's 3 kilogram claim here, which is good. I know you liked Piazza in this race, and you got this race down absolutely perfectly. So I'm going to say that you've got a pretty good line on where Crafty Jess is at as well, Jason.
She really hit the line well. The way that race was run, she was no chance. But she actually looked like a chance at the 200, and just the fact that Sam got it so soft on Piazza and still had to turn a foot left, she wasn't able to get there, but she's in great form. I didn't know how to split the Baker-Forsman pair of her and Grand Rio. Didn't think there was too much between them. It'll be where they settle in the run. You would say that Grand Rio probably has that advantage of being able to settle a bit closer in the run than Crafty Jess, but she'll be coming home like a steam train.
The thing is, Crafty Jess is down to 51 kilograms and up in grade, whereas Grand Rio's, 5th in the Marabai Cup, and the run was very good, won 4 of 10, placed in another 4, just looked really solid, and I just thought there was, Angel and Blue Jeans form as well. That horse has been stakes placed last weekend, so I was going Grand Rio, I was putting a bit of bank money on the horse, but I didn't think there's much between them either.
This is where I think Andrew Forsman and how he works with Murray Baker deserves a lot of credit, because Murray obviously has so much experience placing horses, but I know Andrew also, they work so well in figuring out where horses need to go, and at this time of the year, which horses may be advantaged with a claim. So a classic case of Crafty Jess, up in grade as you mentioned, with that apprentice allowance, she'll get every chance to be competitive.
Yeah.
All right, looking forward to the racing on the undercard. Thank you, Aidan. Thank you, Jason, for your time on the First Call Plus this morning. And thank you at home for watching. Good luck over the weekend with your investments.